Hey everybody. Thought I'd make a little intro video of my new project. It's a 73 Vega GT. It's got a 215 Buick V8, which is, it kind of runs pretty good, but it's garbage. It has no horsepower. So anyway, when I bought this thing, it was pretty weak. Brakes are mushy, suspension soft. Not a fun car to drive. I drove it around the block a few times and stuff because wintertime was coming, so I knew I was going to park it and fix it. So right now I've got the rear diff cover off, changed the fluid, found out it has new rear springs on it already, but the shocks were gone, so threw some new shocks on it. But while I was under there, found it had a bad pinion seal and everything's just coated, and the diff was really low, so I'm glad I didn't drive it too far. But yeah. And so the plan is rear diff seal first off. So I got to get the drive line off, and that's not a big deal. Then I got these new UMI trailing arms I'm going to install, so that'll be a different video. And then I got to pull the drive line out of the transmission, because this transmission is, I don't know, it's leaking real bad and it won't take fluid down the tube. So, and ow, this dipstick is just all janky and twisted up, and I don't know what's going on with this thing. So I'm going to pull this dipstick tube out. Of course, I'll put a new rear seal in, clean up the pan, put a new gasket, filter, get rid of that dipstick tube, get a flexible one, and I'll just screw it to the firewall. And all the measuring for the dipstick itself will have to take place and all that. So, yeah, that's not too big a deal. But as soon as I get that done, then I can get this off of the cribbing, and I'll rebuild the front end. And the power steering leaks, so I'm going to replace all the lines or reseal them at least, and then rebuild the front end. And then probably, I don't know about this carburetor. It's too big for this engine, but I'll work on that later. But yeah, it's got stuff, little goofy stuff like this radiator cap. When you try to take it off, it hits this water temperature sensor probe thing. It's about 4 or 5 inches long, goes down in the radiator. So I'm gonna, and this is a new cap. I don't know why I bought that, but I just ordered one that doesn't have these little tabs on it to unscrew it, so maybe that'll help. But eventually, in a couple of years, when I get the 65 truck done, I'll pull this engine out, put a either 327 like the one I had before back in the 80s, or put another 350 and a 700 R4 transmission in it, and hopefully work on getting some air conditioning and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much rust free. It's got a little bit of bubbling here, which is no big deal. A couple of years when I get the engine out to paint it, I'll pull all the windshield trim off and polish that up and fix all this rust. But interiors, yeah, it's not too bad. It's got some janky stereo that doesn't work, and half the gauges don't work. And that driver's seat is really bad. You can't really tell here, but it leans way back, lowrider style. You can kind of see how this one sits. The passenger side sits up pretty good, but the driver's side leaned back pretty far. Back seat's in good shape. The rest of the interior is not bad. Headliner's in good shape. It's got that goofy 80s lowrider truck mirror. That's got to go. And the GT wheel, I don't like that. I want to put a stock one in. And it's got a tack attached to the steering column, which is not good. I don't like that. And the oil pressure gauge, I don't know if you can see it, but it's half full of dirty oil. So that's got to come out, and I'll redo that. But pretty much everything else is pretty good. And yeah, so it'll just be a little piece by piece, a little bit at a time, get it done. I have till, I think, May to get this thing done. And then here's a 65 frame I'm working on. But yeah, it'll get done eventually. And yeah, should be a good little car. I've been looking for one of these since I sold my 72 back in 1980, I want to say 88 or 89, and regretted it ever since. And this one popped up. And yeah, it needs a bunch of work, but that's okay. Still runs, drives. And the worst thing about it is they filled these freaking door handles in, put poppers on it, and I hate it. But I'm hoping I can just sand this down, get down to if they welded. I'm pretty sure they welded that shut. But I'll just cut that out and try to fix it. And if not, then might have to find a new set of doors. But I'd rather not do that. And got a little rust up here in the front. No big deal. Got the little Monza wheels. So it's a pretty cool car. I love it. And it's going to look good. I'll be in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho this year. I forgot the dates. I think it's coming up in May or June. But yeah, I'll be on the cruise the night before, and I might go into the car show. I doubt it because this isn't anywhere near show quality. But I'll definitely be at the cruise on Friday night, whatever date that is. But yeah, if you're around the area, then keep an eye out for me and give me a wave, and we'll get it done. And first thing first, I think I'm going to take these off because I am definitely not from California. And yeah. So anyway, that's it for this one. And I'll make another one showing that rear pinion seal. That's going to be first on the list. I'm just trying to stay warm and all that because it's down to like 18 degrees. So, and my little heater isn't keeping up. So I might have to wait till next week to do that. So thanks a lot, and I'll keep you posted. America.